That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Welcome to the panel. I'm surprised you wanted to be on, but I do have to say I have some respect for you coming on
Sure.
with no fear. I mean, not that you should be scared. Most people don't. I know you've probably watched a live or two, or maybe seen some things we might have said about you, but the fact that you're here, I mean, do you have questions for us before I go to my questions for you?
Nah, because again, y'all still have the same base level, whatever understanding it is that y'all have had, and a lot of the questions or the positions that you taken for me, you kind of address it, and I appreciate that. I told Kojo, hey, tell them to keep that same energy.
You must not know where you are. Okay, so now that we got this energy thing going, I'm glad to see you. So the first thing really for me is the season's over for you, right?
Sure.
What do you think you got from this?
I don't necessarily know yet, right? So, like, I think, I don't know if it was Kojo or somebody else that I said, now that the season is over, I saw the season live, full in action, right? So you kind of looking at, so you lived it first, right? So you lived
Yes.
it. It was a complete thing. They cut down, you know what I'm saying, 2 hour conversations into 10 minutes, and you needed to see how that was going to play, right? And after you needed to see how it was going to play, then you seen how the public kind of reacted to it.
Yes.
It was because it was stuff that you may have been insecure about, not feeling whether or not it came across the way you wanted it to come across, or man, I should have said this or should have said that. I think everybody left that show in different situations, just like anybody leaves conversations and saying, you know what, I should have approached that conversation differently. The only difference is now you have that extra added pressure or anxiety because like everybody in America who watches this television show is gonna look at that and be able to judge it and kind of base what they feel about you on that, right? And so that's the first two things. The third one is I'm just gonna give this a little bit of time, right? Maybe 2-3 months, I don't know, and then I'm gonna watch it again from a fully objective space,
Okay.
removing myself and then trying to experience myself in a different type of way. And that was something that I always knew that I was going to do, or knew what the value of the show would be, because it's a lot of times where you get certain reactions from people and you get them more than once, and you don't necessarily know where they come from or
Okay.
why they arise, right? And you start to try to ask the people close to you, like, hey, what's this, or why is that like that, or why do people respond to me like that? This television show is an objective lens of being able to experience myself in that way. Maybe I could figure it out for myself and see the things that I can change, do differently to get different results that it is that I want. So I haven't quite discovered exactly what it is that I got from it, but I know I have a valuable time frame and a lot of different interactions with people that I could look at and do some self-examination.
Okay, I get that. And to kind of cut it onto what you're saying, so you kind of seen the general consensus, what people might be saying about you. You might have heard once or twice people maybe refer to you that F-boy term, or maybe Dark Lord, or these terms to describe you, AJ, Ashlyn. So you know yourself. How does that make you feel hearing that word describe you?
I, I actually almost want to hear people define it. People use language so much that they take away the meaning of it, right? So what does an F boy actually mean?
So I don't like the term F-boy, but I can define what I might call a dark lord. Now, a dark lord, loosely, is probably more than just an F-boy. Someone who, I won't say you hate or you like women, but there is an understanding that maybe when you meet a woman, she's merely a tool for your pleasure or displeasure. There really is no real emotion there. You're not really investing in the person, and you're only there to take out what you want and then leave the rest and move on with no regard for that person.
No, that's not me then. I wouldn't agree with that.
No.
If anybody else from the outside looks at it like that, it's because they just don't know me. Now,
Exactly.
I feel as though you should come into any situation with an agenda. A
Okay.
lot of times, so I think we give selfishness a bad connotation, right? Because everybody that's around anybody wants something. It's not just because you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm gonna hang out with this person because it's good luck. I'm gonna hang out with this person because they have resources. I'm gonna hang out with this person because they're gonna get me into the club, or they have money or whatever. But a lot of times those are things that's unspoken, right? Our unspoken social contracts that we have with each other leave a lot of people in the dark if they're not aware of what's necessarily taking place in the moment that it's taking place, because they're just experiencing whatever it is that they're experiencing.
So let me ask you this, because I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're very verbose. You're a very good way of putting the words together and explaining yourself. But to understand what you just said, you're saying that, going into this situation, you definitely had to think of self. But if you're going into this situation looking for maybe that special someone, I'm thinking that's why the reason you went in. Maybe you want to be thinking about more than self to connect with someone.
Absolutely. That's the reason why you listen. That's the reason why I went on ahead and made sure I did more listening than talking. Because you can come in, like, for real. And I get it, men lead, men are the people that ask or whatever. But if women came into relationships and situations more so trying to come up with an end agenda and make that be known, they'll end up in better space. That's just point blank, period.
So do you think, still in relation to what we're saying, that do you feel you are represented as to who you really are by looking at yourself on the show? Because you hear us describe you with these terms. Do you think you're poorly represented, or do you think it was editing, or what do you think of how you looked? Based on how we've been reading you, not based on what you see, but based on the comments you've been getting back and what you've been hearing or reading, how do you think you're represented?
No, I think it's general, you know what I'm saying? It could be something that's consistent. I think that we just define it wrong. I don't necessarily look at it where I'm worried about those definitions, because again, me talking to you right now is for a reason. I didn't get on this live and step out into a parking lot for no reason. I didn't come on this conversation. Whenever conversation I'm in, if I'm opening my mouth, there's a purpose, right? You should only ever be talking for 1 to 3 reasons. Either you're giving information, you're asking a question so you can receive information, or you're giving feedback on information that you just received to make sure that you're able to clarify it, that you understood it correctly. Those are the only 3 reasons you're ever talking. A lot of people talk for other reasons beyond that, and I don't necessarily get it. I'm either giving somebody some information that I feel, and so when you're giving someone some information, you need to tailor it for the audience. Why is this relevant to the person that you're giving it to? Is it just you talking about what you did today, what you ate, whatever? Like, why does that person want to know? Do they care? Like, what's the point? So when someone's talking to me, those are the paces that I'm trying to get from. Why is this person asking me this question? What information are they seeking? And then let me make sure that when I'm communicating back to them, they understand what it is that I said.
So in relation to what you're saying, so you're here with us on the panel, and you did express that you wanted to be on the panel. Why did you? I know you had a lovely interview with Kojo. That was all cool. You guys bonded. It was a real nice man moment. But why did you want to be with us? What did you want to do? What did you hope to achieve?
I don't know. I can't hear you.
Oh, you want me to repeat myself?
Yeah.
I was saying, what did you hope to achieve by coming onto the panel, even though you'd had a wonderful interview with Kojo?
Because having a conversation with just Kojo and having an interview, and I don't know necessarily was wonderful. Based on the other interviews that I had, it was the one that was kind of the most confrontational, according to the people that witnessed it and looked at it. You look at the comments. That's not me saying that. Me is just a conversation. My personality is a debater. I'm a what, NP?
You're a laid-back assassin.
I'm a laid-back assassin.
Yeah, like you just real chill, but people might underestimate you, but they'd be making a mistake if they do that. That's just my read. Like, one should never underestimate you. I wouldn't do that. That would be a mistake. But that's just my read of you, but just trying to get to know you. But I have another question for you, sir. Just real quick.
Last question, Lola, yeah?
Yeah, just real quick. When you had that, the moment, I guess maybe it was Ron's house. What happened that you left Alexis waiting for 2 hours? Did you forget about her? What happened exactly?
No, it was just a party. So it was several people still there left at the party. If she chose to go ahead and separate herself from the party and then go to sleep because she was tired, like I didn't know. Like, I was asking her basically, hey, don't leave from the party yet because I haven't had an opportunity to interact with you. But I'm down here having a conversation with the fellas. I'll be upstairs, and I didn't give her any indication that I would be up immediately or that I was coming at any particular time. And I guess, you know what I'm saying, Ron, either she requested, hey, I just want to lay down or sit down, whatever, I don't know. But when she went back upstairs, I'm thinking that she's just rejoining the party. So I'm not thinking that she's isolated somewhere waiting for me. I don't think that that was ever the case, because it never was a thing. It was never something that I had to address.
Okay.
It was something
Yeah.
Ron saw as the thing that it was a problem for him. And I get it. If I'm in my house and I make accommodations for you to do something, and especially to do something with somebody that I have interest in, and then you don't take that opportunity the same way that I would take that opportunity, I would look at it as a problem.
You know what time it is.